Okay, good evening, everybody. Um, so today, I'm just going to actually start a little bit of a practice where whatever small basic that we have learned yesterday, we are going to talk about how actually we can look at a chart and how we can actually start analyzing the birth chart. So I would like to make it kind of a practice session. That's the reason if you have any Windows laptop or system, you can install Jagannath Hora software there. Okay. Now, so let us start by looking at one of the chart that I will be showing on the screen. And once we are done with that session, then you can actually draw your own chart, and then I'll give you a small exercise that actually you can bring it up for next class. Okay, so let's actually have a recap whatever the basics that we have learned so far. So we have 12 houses, 9 planets, and we have an ascendant on the birth chart, and also the dasa details of the person, and we can actually drill down into the dasa and then subdasas and then vidasa and as well as Sushma dasa, and then see like what kind of dasa that they are going through and all. So how we are going to do this one and then use whatever we have learned so far into the practice. Okay, so let's stop sharing here for a moment, and then I will be sharing another horoscope here. Okay, so here we are actually looking at a horoscope. um, I will reveal the name later, but let's actually look at the horoscope first, and then it will be very interesting to look at the horoscope. Hope everybody is able to see this and everybody is able to hear my voice. So please update me on the chat. Okay. Okay. Now, so right now my cursor is here on the first one where you see VE and KE. So that is Venus and Ketu, and that is Aries. So looking at the anti-clockwise direction, so this is Aries and this is Taurus, this is Gemini, this is Cancer, and so on till it is Pisces. Okay. So this is Mesham, Rishabham, Midhunam, Karkatakam, Simham, Kanya, Tula, Vrushchikam, Dhanusu, Makaram, Kumbham, Meenam. So that is how the chart is. So this is called as a Rasi chart, and this is Navamsa chart, which is D9 is basically our divisional chart. So please update me on the WhatsApp group if you are able to, if you're having any issues hearing my voice or looking at the screen. I'm sharing my screen and you are able to see a sample Rasi chart. Okay. No, did I get any messages here? Okay. Are you able to hear me, guys? I just need at least one confirmation that you are able to hear me. Thank you.
Can hear.
Thank you, guys. Okay, so let's move on right now. So if you really look into, by the way, so go ahead and then install this software. Jagannath Hora is available for free. It's available on Windows. And the way you actually enter your birth date is select the data icon here. Then you should be able to enter your birth date, month, date, year, the time, and you should be able to select your city, and then you should be able to see latitude and longitude, and then if you select yes, then the chart will be drawn automatically. So we are not spending too much of time on how we can actually draw the horoscope, because it's lot of softwares are available right now. So let's focus only on what actually the analysis part of it right now. Okay. So the way normally, like, so I will take like one example here. So we have 12 bhavas, right? Starting from Lagna bhava, talking about wealth, health, spouse, married life, kids, career, and then your saving potential, and then the causes of expenses and everything. And all. Yesterday we talked about 12 bhavas called as Dvadasa bhavas. Now, let's focus on career part of that one. So what is the ascendant for this particular horoscope? You see where there is a mark like AS. So that is the ascendant. So you calculate from here. So this is Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, and Virgo. So Kanya, Virgo is this person ascendant. Okay. Where is so yesterday we talked about for anything that actually you are looking at right now, the Lagnadhipati means the lord of that particular house is very important. Whether to that gives that how actually this person look alike, and also whether he is pretty strong internally, externally, and how learned he is, and all that stuff you will be learning from the Lagna. The 10th house is the one that actually looks at the career part of that one. Okay. Now let us look at the Lagna Lord. Lagna Lord is Mercury, and Lagna Lord is Mercury is situated in the 10th house, which is again his own house, Mithuna. So Mithuna Lord is Mercury, and Lagna, Kanya Lord is also Mercury. So Lagna Lord situating in the 10th house in his own rasi means the Lagnada is very powerful, and also making the 10th house is powerful means he will excel in his career. What kind of career he will be looking at, that is what we need to look into that right now. Okay. If you look at, you need to look at the Navamsa also for the career. Navamsa also, Mercury is in the same house, and as well as it is in uh, its own house. So that is called as Vargotamamsa. Any planet that occupies the same house in both Rasi and Navamsa will be more powerful, and this person enjoys what actually he would like to pursue it and do it, and he will be remembered in his career forever. Now, let us look into that. So, what do we have? We have Sun and Mars. That is the reason why I actually stressing a lot, excuse me, about understanding the characters of the planet. So, Sun in the 10th house and as well as Mars in the 10th house. Yesterday, when talking about the Kujadosam, I have talked about Mars is a warrior, means he won't step back. Sun is a ruler, means so this person will actually will be very, very uh, significant in terms of pupil's life. So his career that right from the beginning would be a politics. But again, at the same time, that won't be a cakewalk for him, and he has to actually struggle a lot to prove himself. And then you need to look at his career. When we look into his career, you would know it how he has progressed in the sense like it's not a cakewalk for him. He has to struggle a lot. He has to prove himself to come to a place where he will be. Now, normally, some horoscopes will be very evident in the sense like one Rasi will be in Ucha Rasi, and then maybe like there could be a Nichabhanga Raja Yoga, or there is some kind of Raja Yoga scenarios will be there. If time permits, we can actually talk about the Raja Yogas also. But so we have multiple Raja Yogas. Like for example, we have Gajakesari Yoga when Moon and Jupiter are in Samasaptakas are in the same house. Chandra Mangal Yoga, Moon and Kuja are in the same or some Saptakas. Likewise, Shani Chandra Yoga. And also we have Budhaditya Yoga, Mercury and Ravi in the same house. So here, this person is blessed with Budhaditya Yoga in 10th house. So it is forming in the 10th house means definitely in politics, he would rise to the occasion, and then he would actually occupy a top position. Any guesses on whose horoscope is? Correct guess might get a prize. Let's see. Anybody can guess it.
Is it Modi?
Good guess. Anybody else? KCR, Trump, Kalam.
Either Trump or Modi.
Okay. Anything else? Trump or Modi? So let's actually talk about that one. Trump should actually have. Trump should actually have a business acumen also here, right? So if you look into the second house is Venus. Venus is in the 8th house. So second lord in the 8th house doesn't get you any. It doesn't make this person won't actually not intended to make money. Okay, when Rahu and Ketu in the second house and the eighth house with the second lord means he won't actually save a lot of money, and his bent of mind initially won't be to save money. So Trump is ruled out.
Modi then.
Modi. Okay. Good guess. So anybody else? Somebody says Rajbir Singh is saying Narsimha Rao. Why, Mr. Singh? Is there any reason why you are saying like he had hardship proving himself? Okay. Let's look into that one, right? First. So before we jump onto our conclusions, right? Then he became very successful. You're right, Raj. So as of PV Nasamara is concerned, yes. So we need to look into this one. So yesterday when I'm talking about like when we are analyzing a particular horoscope, the first part is basically to looking at the Rasi Chakra and the Navamsa and then coming up with who actually, which planet is giving him a lot of success. And second thing is whether that planet Dasa will be coming into his life or not is the second one, right? So you need to really look into see which are the planet that actually gives him a Raja Yoga and whether the planetary position is coming or not and when it is coming. Once we actually look into those details and then reveal that one, it's a cakewalk to see who this is basically. Okay, so as of now, Mercury is basically his Lagna Lord, right? And then Mercury is an intellect. Mercury is a learner, so he's always a learner. Now, Sun and Mars actually give him the Raja Yoga, and especially the Mars give him the Raja Yoga, and he has to fight for that one to keep it. So that is one thing. Now, so yesterday we were actually talking about the Marakas for this Jataka would be a second, okay? Or whoever actually looking into second and seventh are the Marakas. So second Lord is, are you guys following when I say Lord? Because that is very, very important to understand. So whenever you are analyzing, you need to make sure that you first understand the houses, which house represents what, and then who is the Lord for that one, where that Lord is, and who is looking into that particular house. Like for example, second Lord is Venus in the 8th house here, right? So second Lord is Tula, and the Lord is Venus sitting in the 8th house. And then 7th house is Jupiter's house, and Moon is sitting over there, and Jupiter is in 12th. Saturn from 12th, he actually looks into 3rd house also, I told you. So 12, 1 and 2. So he'll be looking at the 2nd house also. So this person probably would have died during either Rahu or Moon or Rahu or Saturn, and it could be Jupiter's Antardasa, Sabdasa or Sukshmadasa, okay? So, but it's probably during the Rahu Mahadasa, okay? So that is probably it, okay? And let's actually jump on to his dasas, then probably it is easy for you guys to pick it up the moment you see the birth date here, okay? So, we were actually talking about Mars Dasa, right? Why it says Kavya is waiting in the lobby? Anybody knows what does it mean? Okay. So let's look into his Mars Dasa. So the Mars is here. Excuse me. The Mars started in 1991 April, and after that one is Rahu. So the moment actually Mars started, he should have actually gone into a limelight and then would have occupied a highest seat in his political career. And then by the time Mars Dasa is done, then he would have actually faded, and then eventually, so what is after Mars? After Mars, it is Rahu Dasa, right? So the Rahu won't give him much of Raja Yoga. So the Mars is about who probably would give him a Raja Yoga. So Mars is the only period that probably would have given him a Raja Yoga. See, this is very interesting, right? So this is very interesting, right? So if you look into the horoscope, somebody actually say Jyoti Basu is ruled for 20 years. Chandrababu Naidu ruled for a long time. NTR ruled for a long time.
I'm gonna sneeze you for 2 minutes. No, I'm gonna write one. It's like my turn. I'm gonna search it. It's on urgent. No, right now.
Okay, so let's actually look into. So I'm just going to reveal this one. Yes, it is PV Narasimha Rao. Okay, give me a break, guys. I'll just attend something and just come back. Okay. Okay, so one second. Somebody is waiting, and I don't know how to make them in and all. Okay, how does it? One second, guys. Okay, so now this is a very interesting horoscope. The reason is being it's not about like the entire life by looking at each and every dasa is great or something. Rather, there are sporadic dasas that are really great, and some of the dasas are not that great. So, whenever somebody comes to an astrology consultation, or even we talked about in initially in the introduction, so this is the science where you should know what are the favorable times in your life where you should be able to understand uh, you should be able to understand what is a favorable time where actually you can put more effort and then get the maximum out of your life. And also you should be able to see where it's not so favorable time, so you downplay yourself and then wait for an opportunity. So that is what it is basically. Are you able to follow so far? Could you please update me on this one?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So this is really, really important. So let us actually go back now. Any guesses what could have been his dasa when actually he became for a small time I would say became chief minister of Andhra Pradesh? By the way, I actually looked into his horoscope only today. I have not actually looked into his horoscope earlier because everybody is looking for Trump, Modi, KCR. I actually wrote a prediction that KCR will be back to power sometime back in the Facebook on the day of election results actually. Anyway, so we talked about there are three planets that is very, very favorable for him in terms of one second. Okay, so in terms of his horoscope, so we have three planets that are very, very favorable: Mars, Sun, and Mercury. Mercury is Lagna Lord, so basically it will support any Antardasya of Mercury will be very, very supportive for him. And the two other things are Mars and the Sun. So I guess he actually became a chief minister for Andhra Pradesh around like 75, 77 for a very small period of time. So let's look into the Dasa, right? See, Sun period started 1975 and latched till 1981, right? So he would have definitely been between Sun and the Antardasa of Mars. He would have definitely become a chief minister, and then he would have stayed there for probably this period, and then definitely not about like K2 on Venus. By the time K2 on Venus, he would have not actually been there. So it's very, very reflective. Basically, all we need to understand is the basic characteristics of the planets. Once you understand the basic characteristics of the planets, then you would know what that particular bhava is related to what, who is governing that bhava. Like for example, look at Mercury. Like, so Mercury planet, so everybody actually has a physical character, and everybody that actually has a knowledge related character, and everybody actually has a character that actually influences a metal, a grain, like whether it is rice or like moong dal or whatever it is, right? And then it actually also talks about the directions and also the places. So there are a lot of things that actually we need to understand as the basics before actually we can jump on to conclusions about giving a particular prediction. So if you look into the ascendant lord is Mercury, right? And he's a lord for the 10th house also. Likewise, his second, which is basically his wealth, is related to Venus, but he is in the eighth, so he won't be able to make much of money. Third is his Mercury. Third is Mars, and he is with Mercury, and he is like it talks about his brothers and his families, large family. Fourth one is Jupiter. Jupiter is in the 12th. So before actually you can look into the first aspect is the Lagna lords, and then the house lords, where they are, whom they are aspected by. That is one thing. Second thing is you have a Papi, and then you have like a Shubha in your planets. Ravi, Kuja, Shanulu. These three are Papi. Rest of them were Shubhas. Now, a Papi occupying a Papasthana becomes Shubha. The Papasthanas are 3, 6, 8, and 12. Okay, and you have Kendras, and then you have Kona. Kendras are 5 and 9. And then Konas are basically 1, 4, 1, 2, 4, 7, and 10. Okay. If there's a lot of things that I don't want to get into the details because it will be too confusing right now. So think about this way: any Shubha occupying a 12th is not a good thing, right? So if any Shubha other than Saturn, other than Ravi, means Sun, Kuja, and Saturn occupying 12th is not a good sign. So here Saturn is occupying a 12th house, right? So which is a good thing, but Jupiter along with him is not good for the Jupiter. So basically, the Jupiter is influencing two aspects in his life. The first one is the fourth bhava, second one is the seventh bhava. The seventh bhava is basically related to his spouse, right? So if you really look into that, maybe during this period of Jupiter, or maybe during this period of Venus and Jupiter, uh, he would have probably lost his spouse. We can check back. I have not got into the details of his horoscope, so I do not know the his entire life history, but that is where it is. On the other hand, fifth lord is Saturn situating in 12th, which is a good for him because he's a sixth lord also, so he will have a lot of kids. So I guess PV Narasimha has a lot of sons and daughters. So it's very clear by looking at the horoscope. You can actually match, just take only one bhava and then match. And then the way you need to start is basically when you pick up a bhava, who is that bhava's lord? Like as I said right now, if I'm looking at a spouse marriage related, that bhava lord is Jupiter. He is in the 12th, and he is also being uh, joined with Saturn, and also if you look at the Mars being very powerful, he is looking at the Lagna from 10th house, because of the fourth side, he is looking at the Lagna as well. So Mars looking at the Lagna is also not really good. So maybe during that time, uh, antardases of Jupiter and then Mars, probably like he would have lost his wife. Okay, so these are all the things that you need to keep it in the mind before actually you can give some prediction. So start with any bhava. So the homework that I want to give it to you guys is open up an Excel sheet, okay, and then write it down like who is your Lagna Lord. Write down all the lords for each and every bhava, like so starts from 1 to 12, okay, Lagna Lord, which position he is in, okay, and also is he aspected by anybody? Is he joined by anybody? If he joined by anybody, which lord is that one? That is also important. Like for example, so Jupiter is associated with the fifth and the sixth house lord. So fourth lord and seventh lord is with the fifth and the sixth lord in 12th. What does it mean? So that's how your thought process should be. So take a baby steps. Open up an Excel sheet and try to understand first of all who is which lord in your horoscope. Write it down 1 to 12. Who is the lord? Where is that lord is? And is he actually looking at by anybody, joined by anybody? Then we can actually like discuss about how to actually uh, digest that information and then come up with a analysis and predictions on top of that one. So likewise, you need to do it for 12. And also you need to look into where those lords and then house lords are there in the Navamsa chart also. Yesterday somebody sent a message to me in the group like what is that AL, GL and all that stuff, right? So Arudha Lagna, Ghatika Lagna and Bhava Lagna. So there are also very important to understand what actually you are for yourself, what you are to outside. So that is also very important. Like sometimes people will be second, guys. Any questions so far? Is it going too fast? Ravi, Kuja and Shani are papagrahas, not moon. Are you able to hear or not? Okay. So let's actually have some rules before actually you start predicting, right? So first of all, first one is basically Lagna Lord should be very much energized and Lagna chart should be strong enough. So because it's your own personality, if you are not strong enough, you won't be able to do anything, right? So you need to look at the assess the strength of the Lagna Lord and the Lagna. So that is very, very important. Okay. Then once you assess the Lagna, whatever the question is posed to you as an astrologer, you need to look at the Bhava, Bhavesh, basically. Who is that Bhava Lord? Where is that Bhava Lord? Whether the Bhava Lord is in like a 3 or 6 or 8 or 12, that is not a good sign. Okay. So you need to look into that one. Again, at the same time, 3, 6, 8, 12 lords, which are the Papasthana lords, situating in any of the 3, 6, 8, 12 sthanas is a good combination. Means a lord of 3, if he is in either 3 or 8 or 6 or 12, it's a good sign. Some books actually says of Viparita Raja Yoga as well, but you need to really look into the strength of that planet before actually you say like whether that particular planet gives you Viparita Raja Yoga or not. Okay. Then what you need to look that one is any any lord that is actually associated with Jupiter is supposed to be auspicious. So your association, like likewise, like you associate with nice people in your work, you work hard with them, then you grow. And if you actually associate with the bad people, then you go down. Similarly, a planet associating with the good planets are more energized. Associating with the bad planets is less energized. there is another topic called as Astangatva. Astangatva means basically like any planet that is actually with sun, it's combusted because sun is more powerful, emits a lot of energy. So people says like one set of theory is the planet's energy is actually shadowed with sun's energy. So if anybody within the sun, the same house with the sun, that planet may not give you a good result. Okay, so you need to understand that one also. And second thing is, if sun is in the Saturn's house or Saturn is in sun's house, so they are actually enemies, so they won't give you a good results. Likewise, if Mercury is in moon's house, he won't give you good results. Moon doesn't have any enemies. Okay, but Mercury is moon is Mercury's enemy, but moon doesn't have any Mercury enemies. Means if moon is situating in Gemini or Virgo, it's okay, but moon in Karkataka is not okay. Okay, so you need to understand these relationships basically. So your lord are lord relations to the other lords, lord relations to the houses, and also the lord relations to rest of the planets, and the position from 1 to 12. He's the in like a 3 6 8 12, or he's in Kendra, or he is in Kona. 6 8 12 are called as Trikamalu, and 5 9 called as Konas, and the rest of them are called Kendras. So you need to understand these basics before actually we can jump onto any of the analysis. So next class, what I'm going to do that one is we'll start like one planet one by one, and then we can talk about like who is his friends, who is with enemy with, what are his characters, and what actually he influences in the horoscope. Like for example, sun influences your community related, your leadership qualities, your political career, and also he influences about your father related. So every planet has a karakatva. So sun actually has a karakatva about your father. Moon actually has a karakatva about your mother. Jupiter actually has a karakatva about kids, and Mars actually has a karakatva about your brothers and co-borns. So Venus has a karakatva for spouse, kalatra karaka. So these are all the things that we need to understand before actually we can jump onto any kind of prediction part. Okay. So open for questions. Go ahead.